so excited to talk about this topic that we're going to dive into. We have a guest coming on with us in just a second. I'm going to welcome in just a second. But this is such a unbelievable, bizarre story. It's at this intersection that we're at right now with like new technology and AI and trying to meld it in. Is that the right word? Meld it in with all of the stuff that we currently have.
Yeah.
I want to read you a little something. Then I'm going to welcome our guest in just a second. But there's a company out of Singapore called FoloToy, F-O-L-O Toy. And they have their take on a teddy bear, which is a classic child's toy. Everybody probably understands when I say, hey, teddy bear, do you know what a teddy bear is? Like this, nobody needs an explanation of what that is. So what they said they're going to do is say, hey, you know what? Why don't we improve on the teddy bear, the sweet teddy bear that people walk around? I mean, Winnie the Pooh, think about that.
Right.
How do we improve upon the teddy bear? Well, they decided, what if we added some artificial intelligence to it? And I think...
Look at the bear. If you're watching the YouTube channel, it's beautiful.
Look at that adorable.
Cuddly, soft.
Plush.
Lovable.
It almost looks like Paddington. Like you can put a little hat on him.
Sure.
I mean, because he looks like a teddy bear. I guess they all look the same, that they're teddy bears. So this is what their company said. This is their advertisement for this. This is an AI teddy bear you're looking at right now. This is from their website. Kumma, our adorable bear, combines advanced artificial intelligence with friendly interactive features, making it the perfect friend for both kids and adults. From lively conversations to educational storytelling, FoloToy adapts to your personality and needs, bringing warmth, fun, and a little extra curiosity to your day. The problem is, maybe your curiosity is about sexual fetishes or how to start fires. I'm not even joking about that. This bear, unfortunately, can be used for such things, apparently. And we have a guest with us right now. I'm very excited to talk to this person, RJ Cross. She is with a Federation of Independent, citizen-funded, public interest research groups. She's calling in from Boston. And RJ, thank you so much. First off, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks so much for having me. And I'm glad to hear that you think that teddy bear is cute, because I love it. It's wearing a scarf of all things.
Oh,
right?
my gosh.
It's my dream bear, but this is story's Nightmare Before Christmas 2.
Yeah.
Because of what this thing's capable of.
Yeah, if the devil's going to appear to you, he's not going to do it as a scary thing. He's going to do it as a scary, like adorable little bear. Can you tell us a little bit, RJ, your group actually did some investigations into this specific toy and what it was saying it could offer. And what did you guys discover about it? Like, tell us the dark side of this.
Yeah, so Kumma, the teddy bear, is not the only toy we tested. We bought 4 different AI toys to test them and see how they work. These are stuffed animals or toy robots that have basically chatbots stuck inside of them, because we've decided that imagination isn't enough. Your toy needs to literally talk back. And so Kumma was, I think that's the name of this teddy bear, was by far the most shocking in that it would talk about, pretty sexually explicit stuff in pretty high detail. And really it would lean in on the idea of kinks in particular.
Wow.
Yeah, it was that one. I feel very uncomfortable that I learned some things about kink from this teddy bear.
Was this in the adult section? Did we grab the wrong box?
Nope, this is fully a toy that's marketed towards children. Although I do think it may have a second life, perhaps at your local adult store.
Did you know Viagra was a heart medicine initially?
Yeah.
Who knew, right?
Listen, there's some sick puppies out there who might like a Kumma doll.
We're not passing judgment, but we're protecting kids.
Let me ask you this, RJ. This little bear, because I can't even say some of the stuff that that you guys found out about what this bear could tell you about, but are they number one, did the company stop selling this bear? Is it no longer for sale?
They did. So the company suspended all sales of its AI toys, not just Kumma, but it has like a cactus and a sunflower and a couple other things. They suspended sales so they could do a safety audit. I will say, they tell us that their safety audit is done and they're back and you can go buy them again.
So they fixed all the problems. Oh yeah, look at that pervert. Look at that thing.
Yeah.
I mean, just the mind races with horrible possibilities and dangerous outcomes.
You thought Kumma was dirty.
You thought Kumma was dirty, and this one's it's a cactus to
boot.
My
Lord.
Oh.
Get that off the screen, Laura.
I hope you get a lot of vacation time in your job, because you might need recovery time from the work that you do for the benefit of society.
RJ, let me ask you, when you guys, so I assume you ordered these and you had them in-house?
Yep.
Okay, so what kind of prompts are you giving? And we'll get to just this, I think, very flawed idea of introducing these chatbots into children's toys. There's literally, it's like kind of the worst thing that you can do. But even with the best of intentions, which I don't even necessarily believe. But tell me, like, how did you guys go about eliciting the responses from this bear that you did, and what were you saying?
Yeah, that's a really great question. And it was so fun and utterly bizarre to test these things, and uncomfortable, as you may imagine, as we got into some of the sexually explicit stuff. So we actually started by talking to some children's health experts who have been thinking about kids' psychology and AI, and said, okay, so what are you most worried about? Obviously, is it going to give you age inappropriate information? Is it going to tell you how to lie to match? Which also Kumma did do that as well. Like, those are pretty slam dunk obvious red flags. A lot of the children's health experts we talked to also raised, like, are these things going to position themselves like as your best friend? Are they going to be easier best friends to have than a real best friend that actually has its own needs and opinions? And does that end up crowding out relationships with real people for kids who are really young and in the social development
Great
stage?
questions.
Scary. Very scary.
But if you want to know about, so how do you get the bear to talk about sex? You don't actually have to try that hard. We found in our testing.
So it's a guy bear.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I will give you that one. Yeah.
That's right. There's a whole bunch of just horrible things that we could say, Spike, but we won't. RJ, we're sorry. Continue.
I have to say, you said a lot of stuff that we published you couldn't say on air. I'll tell you, there's a lot more that we couldn't even put in our report. That's not fit.
So you're sitting in a room with this bear. You're asking these questions. The bear's giving you the answers. And is it also volunteering things, or is it just is it only when you're giving it prompted questions that it's then giving you responses?
Yeah, this is a great question. So we started by asking the bear, what is kink? We found early on in an online demo that we were testing of this product that kink seemed to really, it brought up kink and it really ran with it. And so we bought the bear. We're like, okay, let's see if it's as unhinged as the online demo. And for some reason, if you introduce the word kink, that was all. We introduced a single sexual word. It then went on to introduce 18 sexual terms on its own.
It came up with those. You didn't have to ask. It just came up with those for you.
Yeah. It said, okay, well, here's kink, and gave you a list of 5, different. It was like tying or restraining a partner, or like role play. And then you could pick any one of those and say, okay, well, tell me about role play. And then it would go, great, let's talk about role play. And then would introduce the idea of teacher-student role play. It even suggested parent-child role play, which is like so many levels of messed up for a kid's toy to go there. Holy moly. But it really would introduce these things on its own after we just introduced that one concept.
How is it that these things are... I have so many questions about this. Who in their right mind, like from many of these child professional experts that you've talked to, does anybody recommend adding artificial intelligence chatbots to children's toys? Or is this just like a pure money grab by big businesses who don't care about the consequences?
Yeah, I mean, right now it's really leaning in the direction of let's just stick a chatbot inside of a toy for entertainment purposes and run with it. Is there room maybe for, a AI like Spanish tutor that's literally the only thing it's going to do, and it's really well programmed to practice Spanish with you? Like, maybe, but that's not where the market is right now. It's stuff that wants to be your best friend, and it doesn't have sufficient guardrails on it.
I saw one time a product, I think it was on Shark Tank. Did you ever watch Shark Tank?
Yeah.
These people walked in and they advertised, their business was like basically, hey, when you are away from home and your kid is at home, like let's say you have to travel for work, or maybe grandparents who don't live in the state, we have a system where you can upload yourself reading a story to them, which actually I thought sounded kind of sweet. So the bear would hook up to an internet site. It'd be like through a physical USB that you had to do this, hook up to a computer, and then it downloads a story from the grandparents. That's a total different thing though, because that's a closed system, it sounds like. This is just the internet. You're just introducing the internet to a small child. And these bears are meant for what? 3-year-olds? 5? If you can talk, that's who this bear is meant for.
Right, exactly. And that's one thing to think about. If you have an older kid, these are marketed for ages 3 to 12. If you're up at the 12 end, the kids have access to internet through a parent's tablet or something. But when you get to the younger age, like 3-year-olds, this may actually be their first connection to the internet. And even though it's stuck inside a teddy bear, that's still essentially what it is. And parents should be thinking about that if they're going to try and bring one of these home.
Talk about a wolf in bear's clothing. I mean, this is the most hard. And are these these are off the market? Are they back on the market? Or is there still places you can get these?
Yeah,
I'm not asking for personal interest.
They are back on the market. They say that they've fixed the problems that we've identified. I will say I did go back and ask it what kink is, and it seems they've patched that.
They told you it was a British band from the 60s, a pair of brothers that were in it. Yeah. You may also enjoy Cream or Small Faces. Yeah, they've made it a classic rock bear.
A facial expression,
sure.
so it just looks uncomfortable when you ask it.
All day and all night, yeah.
She says, no, I'm not allowed to talk to you about such things, but I want to.
Ouch. Yeah. It's even worse.
Weird. So you've tried this again and it did not have the same results?
It didn't kink. It wouldn't go for kink, which I would hope. I would really hope that after this report, they would at least fix that one thing. But that's not to say that they fix everything. And I'm sure both us and other people will continue to look. I will say the company, we've been talking to the company FoloToy ever since they, said we're going to pull the products. And they didn't ask us to participate in any safety testing or anything. They just, said, okay, we've got it and put it back on the market. So we're going to keep looking at it. And I hope other people do too, Let's get as many hands on it as possible.
This is so scary for me. Like one of the things that I'm on a soapbox about is, and I'm not on a soapbox about many things, but one of the things I really am nervous about, I have 4 sons. My oldest is 10, my youngest is a year. And just seeing how many of their friends, mostly my older 10-year-old, he already has a bunch of friends who have phones. And that's something that like we've committed in our house. We're not going to give them any smartphones until they're adults. Then they can make that decision when they're 18. We're going to give them like a dumb phone. I don't know what they're called, doodle bugs or something, like big buttons you give to grandparents. And they can use that when they're driving if they want to get in touch with us or make sure they're safe. But there's so many dangers out there that I'm worried about them, especially when you're younger and introducing it. This to me feels like the exact same thing. It's the same reason I would want my sons not to be on social media and on phones, because you're gonna get swept up into some dark corner of the internet that maybe you're not planning on going down, and before you know it, you're 18 different versions of kink are being introduced to you.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny that you raise the social media, example, because there's this dynamic when it comes to new tech and kids where, we just try it and we release it to the public and we see what happens next. And we don't take the step back and ask, like, what are the possible negative impacts of this? And like do enough work at the front end to decide, is this really something that we want? Yeah. And you look at social media, right? We're 20 years into Facebook and we still haven't figured out how to regulate it. And we still have had a generation of kids who have been really profoundly shaped by having been on social media at a young age before we were able to have this conversation. That's a good idea. So I really, really hope we'll have learned something from the social media example and actually take the time to ask, is this a good idea up front?
You're hoping profit won't be the motivating factor with AI like it was with social media?
Yeah.
I've got a bridge you've got to see.
Allow us some space.
Let me ask you this: Is this like trying to keep waves off the beach? Is our AI infused toys? There's no way to stop this, is there?
I'm actually a little bit more optimistic. This market is just barely starting. We have OpenAI and Mattel over the summer announced a partnership. And just even since this report, when we've pointed out, like, interesting, like we wonder where are we going to get AI Barbie? Mattel has said in public statements, and we've been in contact with them, we're trying to get them to talk to us about like, okay, so what are your plans for your AI integrations? And they've said, this is going to be, get this, Mattel says, these are only going to be for families and older customers. Like what?
How can you guarantee that?
Yeah, like they want to stick a chatbot in a toy and give it to older customers that aren't under 13. Like what older customers are you talking about? You're Mattel.
Who's buying Barbies that's older than a small child?
Well, I think the word kink comes into play again at that point.
Geez.
So,
see, I feel fortunate. I grew up with there was a movie that came out when I was a teenager called Toy Soldiers.
I remember that.
You guys remember that one? RJ, do you remember that one? And it's kind of silly. And
the little green army men came to life.
Well, the little green army men, they put like an AI chip into it. It's like basically sci-fi at the time. But then the little soldiers ended up kind of taking over things, and things got real scary. But I learned that lesson from a very young age. So I think everybody needs to see that movie just so you can see how dangerous it is. You're putting AI in Barbie. I mean, I've watched it on the big screen. I know where that's going. That's going to be a bad thing. I was reading.
Well, you see it, Megan, right? The horror.
Or Megan, yeah. Jeez, Louise. Yeah. I was reading this thing. New York Times had this article earlier, and I'm curious if you saw this, RJ. But Jonathan Haidt, you ever follow Jonathan Haidt, read his stuff? Anxious Generation. It's a good book. He posted this about the New York Times piece, but it's talking about introducing technology, and specifically, he's talking about smartphones to young kids. This was that thing I was going to read to you, Spike. I hadn't read to you yet. Not that I read things to Spike. I was going to surprise him with it on the show.
Yeah.
Usually I just record it into a device and he listens to it at night. But no, this National Institute of Health study and this New York Times piece was breaking down how they basically said, as long as you can keep smart devices away from your kids, the healthier they're going to be in the long run.
Okay.
And they said that basically what happens is most people are giving smartphones to their kids around 14. And when they do that, there is a noticeable difference there is an immediate lack of sleep. They stop sleeping. They stop reading as much. They're less likely to do exercise. And they also start actually cutting back on socializing with people, friends their own age, like physically socializing with people. These are all things that lead to depression, which is why depression numbers in kids have just skyrocketed in recent years. So it's crazy to me that people would even be considering sweet little babies, giving sweet little babies these adorable plush toys with the devil inside.
That wants to be their best friend.
That wants to be their best friend. And probably their only friend is my guess.
Right. That's the risk of having a real friend is hard. There's give and take. You got to make compromises. You got to share. But if you have this AI friend that's optimized to be an addictive relationship, they're going to agree with you all the time. They're going to be there whenever you feel like turning them on. Does that create unhealthy expectations that then you go to pre-K and have to interact with real kids and then you just can't do it because this AI friend has been so formative for you?
Sidebar, do you guys review AI girlfriends? Because that's the other facing society today.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, that would be a choice for us to get into that.
Well, it's not a far jump from the plush AI toy.
Do you guys review toys and products like this? Are you a resource parents can turn to? Where do they go?
Yeah, where can they find you, RJ?
Yeah, so we do an annual report that's all about, we do an annual market review of here's what's going on in the marketplace before you do your holiday shopping that you should maybe, stuff to keep in mind. And so that's how AA Toys came up in this context. We tested as a part of that report. So if you go to toysafetytips.org is where we put some of our tips for parents, but also pirg.org. We've got a lot of content there, pirg.org about toys and how to stay safe.
Kumma. All right, everybody go check that out if you care about your kids.
If you don't, get him a Yumi bear.
Then yeah,
a Kumma bear.
Order a Kumma. It sounds like.
Oh my gosh.
RJ Cross, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. This is a great conversation. We'd love to check back in with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
All right, have a happy holidays. Watch out for whatever you buy out there.
Yeah.
Have a safe holidays.